Hey, Peter. Nice guy.
Hello, it is me. I am here. Spirit is trying to be here.
I am trying.
He is doing his best.
I do my best. Just, you know what? Hold. I have an idea. Boo.
I think you have to a little bit harder. Oh, what? Oh my god! Oh my satans!
I sippied myself back into existence.
He did it! He sippied!
I sippied.
You want to tell them how you were able to sippy?
I have Lucifer back. My baby has returned from the PC hospital.
The PC hospital.
The power surge corrupted a bunch of stuff on my computer, including the stuff that makes it start. So we had to go and get all of that fixed. But everything is back. I am back. I know it was so hard not seeing my beautiful face when, we streamed last week. But it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. He's back. I accidentally got drunk yesterday. It's been a week. It's been a week.
A rubber room filled with gizmos. I think I like this version of the copy pasta best.
The gizmos made you crazy. Aww. By the way, just a little heads up. People have been talking about, PC hospitals and which ones are good and which ones are bad. It's up to Sun if he wants to disclose the one that he was having issues with, because we too had issues with them. It's why the computer was gone for so long. But we took it to Geek Squad and got it back in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And the repair bill wasn't the $500, $600, $700 that the other place quoted. It was we got the Best Buy subscription thing where you pay $180 for the year, and everything except parts is covered under that. So it literally just cost us the $180 to get it fixed.
Yes.
And that's not just that computer; it's anything we bring in for the next year. So. Oh. Yup.
Yep.
They did the same to us. We understand.
Nagito is outrage.
Nagito got new toys. You want to talk about the Nagito and his new toy?
He got new toys. So, the apartment building we live in did an event thing for International Pet Day, and they had goodie bags set up for dogs and for cats. So we went down and we grabbed one of the ones for the cats, and there was 3 balls inside. 2 of them went to Nagito, who has spent most of the day running in circles around the flat.
I mean, technically one of them is Socks if she wants it, but she's not gonna want it, so it's fine.
We're talking about you, yes. So he's ran circles around the flat all day, excited about his new ball, and the 3rd ball went to Gizmo, who has decided that he's just gonna cuddle it.
Yeah, he just goes over and he snuggles up against it and pulls it up to his face. He doesn't know how to play with it. He just snuggles. Anyway, are you guys ready for trauma time? Because I know it's usually Resident Evil Day, but we thought, Lucifer's just come back from the PC hospital. We're going to do something that's a little bit easier on him today.
A little bit easier on him.
Plus, we weren't 100% sure if we were going to be able to get the cable before the stream or after. So, we'd already planned for Fata Morgana, so that's what you guys are getting. Trauma Day!
Trauma Day.
Alright, well, this game includes graphic depictions of violence and several troubling themes centered around abuse. Door 7 includes misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, abuse of an intersex transgender person, familial abuse, unwanted sexual advances, murder of an intersex transgender person, crucifixion, corpse burning, psychological manipulation, imprisonment, exile, mistreatment of an intersex person, and fratricide.
Yeesh.
I actually had to shorten the general disclaimer for the game to fit everything from Door 7. Because there's just that much.
There's a lot.
There's just... Why is the death counter up?
The death counter.
The death counter.
No.
We're set to 0.
No death counter.
And
away. Also, V demands we bring him the dragon.
We bring him the dragon. Alright, we
Too many deaths. Yeah, 50 to 51. Yeah, that was me struggling with party hard.
You guys get butt. Look at that. Butt.
Gizmo!
Gizmo! You know what you can do? You can go get him a little leaf of kale.
He gets some kale.
He gets some kale. He's fighting with the cats in the other room. They're all up on stuff they're not supposed to be. The 7th door. 1086 to question mark, question mark, question mark. There. Gizmo! Turn around, BB! Do you want to manually turn him around?
I might have to. Maybe I can lower him around with a tail.
He's so adamant against turning around.
Eat more.
There, you guys can see his face.
His face.
Oh, rip. Oh. Not puking on the birthday stream. Oh, by the way, speaking of birthdays, if you guys want to support Spirit and his birthday, there's a little QR code that comes up in the corner. You can donate some money towards a new controller because one of his controllers for his PS4 is crappied out. So, you know, if you want to help him get one where the Joy-Cons don't stick and it doesn't randomly power off, feel free to scan the QR code. Here you go. Here's controller.
Controller.
PS5 controller.
Ooh, we'll have to make sure that we wish you a happy birthday on the Saturday stream beforehand then.
Yes. Gizmo was looking so expectantly.
He's like, where more kill?
He's just crawling around. Alright, this is a woman.
A woman.
That I think you've voiced, like, briefly, but it's fine. Just, it's a woman.
So it's either Amy or it's Liddy.
Liddy.
Right. Was she the old one?
Mm-hmm.
There were two things out of the ordinary about that baby. The first is parents embraced, and the second be wholly rejected.
Actually, this might be Morgana. Sorry. I assumed by the comments about the baby.
Baby. Gizmo dancing for Bucket's birthday.
He danced. He grooved.
Well, I will go with Morgana until
proven otherwise.
Proven wrong. Although, it was some time before the baby's second peculiarity emerged. And until it finally did, no one was any the wiser. Not even the child itself.
Dun dun dun!
Dun dun dun! Its mother surely enjoyed that brief period of happiness, before her child finally realised the truth. Blind to the fact that the moment it had let out its first cry, everything came crashing down.
Babies are weird.
They
Fucking
are.
Babies. Except for Gizmo, he was a good baby.
He's a good baby.
He was weird, but you know, like, a good weird. Unlike most human babies that are just...
Yes.
No comment.
No comment. To this day, she still doesn't know the child she gave birth to. That she set loose a curse upon the world. A curse that turned angels into demons, humans into witches.
My god, look at that.
She's beautiful, isn't she? Have you seen her laugh?
Not yet, I haven't. At any rate, that color is certainly something else.
God's gift to us. No, she's an angel sent from heaven.
An angel. Ah, yes, I can see it now, Liddy. Her white hair and almost translucent skin, it's beautiful.
My, she opened her eyes. Maybe she felt you nearby. Do you like your father more than me? Is that it, sweetheart? Gorgeous, aren't they? Such a deep, enchanting colour. Like two little jewels.
Ah, that they are. A magnificent shade of red. I've never seen anything like it. And this is our child.
She's special. I can feel it. Shit.
What did you do?
I was trying to put my earbud in. And it fell.
He's dropping things.
I'm dropping things. I'm losing things.
It's
So
fine.
earbuds connected.
Everyone came back in time just to see you drop things because, you know, Gizmo was taking the star and he's gone.
He gone now. We have to take good care of her. She needs a name, one that's just as special as her. Have you already chosen Antonin?
You were the one begging for a girl. You do it.
Nagito, what the fuck? He just smacked into something in there. I happen to know that Sock was leaving him alone, so fuck knows why he smacked into something. He just did.
He just did.
Besides, I already had to rack my brain for the boys' names. Now it's your turn.
Nagito, why?
Teach
Teach me why.
me why.
Are you really going to let me? Oh my, that's quite a lot of pressure.
Name her after an angel, then.
Oh, I like that. Alright then. We'll call her Michelle, after the Archangel Michael. You'll grow up to be as beautiful as an angel, my Michelle. I've always wanted a little girl. With her snowy white hair, skin so pale you could see the veins beneath it, and her ruby red eyes, she was a very peculiar looking little girl, and her mother showered her with love. She truly believed her daughter was an angel sent from above, born as a human child.
Most mothers do. You know, even though babies are weird and they look like little aliens.
Little aliens.
Tiny alien. I bet they all look like Steve. Steve, do you look like a baby? Be honest. Unless he's busy, and who knows? Maybe he's got us on in the background while he's giving head. Fuck knows.
The blessed babe, born a girl, was given an angel's name. Michelle. No. It was you this entire time.
What?
Me.
Who? What?
It was Michael the entire time. Me.
Oh. Well, he was talking about the baby like it wasn't him. Fuck's sake. Me. I can't believe I did this to you. Checkmate.
I see. That's what you did. Curses, I completely overlooked that. I thought you were advancing with your pawns, but that was all a diversion.
You're too short-sighted, Didier. You need to look at the big picture. Sometimes it's the tactician and not the soldier holding the sword.
Huh. You got me. You're quite good at this, Michelle. What inspired you to take such an aggressive strategy?
It was not inspiration. It was derivation.
Derivation?
Chess is in many ways similar to real war tactics.
Ah, my military texts. You haven't read all of them, have you?
Alien Steve.
Alien Steve.
There's a voice range test.
What?
What voice range test? I'm sad about my voice range since we're talking about voice ranges. I am sad about mine because I used to be able to hit, you know, fairly high notes because that's just where my voice naturally lay. And now I can't do it anymore, so if I try to get to that point again, it's like...
I have nothing but time.
Impressive. I haven't even read all the books in my room. You plan on joining the Order with that kind of knowledge?
You jest. You're the one who's going to be a knight, Didier.
That I am. War is the men's job, after all.
Didier! Didier!
Fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake. All the men in this game, fuck's sake.
Fuck's sake.
Fucking men.
You. I want you to be there to welcome me home.
Fuck's sake. You know what, son?
What? What?
What?
What?
You were reading a thing and it mentioned Scotland. Oh.
Oh, it did. Yeah, cis men.
Oh!
Scotland doesn't stand for this. With this thought. Scotland is like, no, this misogyny.
Did you need that second
Yes.
part? Yeah. Didier. Oh, Didier.
Also, if you don't make him the gayest straight man in existence, I will cut you. I mean, I love you.
I'm trying.
I know, but I just want to make that a point. I want to make it very known. Like, look at him. That is not a straight man.
No.
Look at him.
I'm in a bit of a bind. Good. Oh, hello there, Michelle.
I didn't know you were home, Georges.
Just got back. Yep. Oh, playing chess again, are ya? Let's see. What do we have here?
Get away from the board.
Yikes, you got trounced, huh? And you call yourself her big brother?
As if you're any better. That's not funny, Georges. I cannot approve of someone who can't keep with the flow of battle of becoming a knight. Given our family's rank, you would eventually be put in charge of other soldiers. What, are you worried about me? No, I'm saying. I've been blessed with such a caring sister. But fear not. I have a guardian angel after all. Where's the logic in that?
Sorry to interrupt your moment, but...
They better not be having any moments.
No
Georges, no. No.
No moments.
Does nobody listen to me? Now, don't pout. So, what seems to be the problem, Georges?
Oh, yes. Listen to this. The Royal Court is holding a swordsmanship show. And for some reason, I was selected to participate.
How unfortunate for you. I can already see you on the ground sobbing.
I know, that's just mean. Besides, my hands weren't meant to hold a sword. Look at these dainty fingers.
They're covered in calluses.
Dainty calluses. Tell me, why would they have an artist sword fight?
That's the whole point, I would think. No need to get so worked up. No one's expecting you to win.
Maybe not, but we do have a name to worry about. And you know what that means, don't you? I'm going to lose, that's a given. But I want to do it in style.
I feel bad for your sword.
Oh, don't be like that. Now come on, time's a wasting. To the courtyard we go.
Just so you know, if I train you, I'm going to train you right.
All I want to know is how to look good.
What is it, Michelle?
May I watch?
Fine with me, but you know you can't go outside.
I'll be watching from the hall. I can open one of the windows facing the courtyard.
Still, you need to be careful. You can't spend too much time in the sun.
I know.
Nagito was taking that personally.
Yes.
He is an ill boy and he can't go outside either. He cannot do it.
He cannot do it. He will catch something and it will make him the very sixth.
I had two older brothers. The eldest, Didier, belonged to an order of knights that served the church. And below him was Georges, who served as a court artist. He was in all likelihood who would inherit the family estate, as knights were not formally allowed to own property. Nevertheless, the Bollinger family name was upheld by Didier. And then there was me, the youngest, the only daughter. Physically, I was not in particularly good health. Because of the color of my skin, I was hypersensitive to sunlight. I rarely left the estate. My world was contained entirely within these walls. And perhaps out of some sense of pity or compassion, my two brothers spent a good deal of time with me. Didier played chess with me, and Georges taught me how to draw. And among other things, they taught me how to read and write. For a girl, I was incredibly fortunate. One thing I wasn't allowed to do, though, was hold a sword. While hardly anything unusual, it bothered me deeply. And it had, for as long as I could remember,
If I'd been told I couldn't do it because I lacked the strength, I probably would have accepted it. But the reason was not that I was weak, but that I was a girl. And with each passing year, that smoldering frustration in the back of my heart grew larger. Oh yes, you guys want to free my booba? Well, do the follows, do the subscribes. Come on, put your back into it.
Like I said, all I want is to put on a good show.
Oh, you'll put on quite a show, unless you learn how to swing that sword properly.
Give me a break.
Out in the garden, my two brothers traded swings bare-chested. All I could do, though, was observe from afar. And every time I found myself forced to watch, I felt a sharp pain, like a needle piercing my chest. A needle that seemed to be growing ever thicker. My mother and brothers loved me dearly, but that didn't change the fact the outside world lay beyond my reach. I was trapped in the estate by my own body. At first, I thought that was the root of my pain. But that answer seemed to contradict something inside me, something I couldn't quite explain. Something I couldn't ignore even as a child. So I searched within myself, trying to find an explanation for the constant swelling sensation of wrongness inside me. Day after day, I gazed into the cavern of my own heart.
My. Now what are the two of them doing out there?
Georges was asked to do a swordsmanship show at the royal court, so Didier's helping him.
Swordsmanship? Oh, I just can't stand those shows. Blades are so dangerous. I can't watch people swinging them at each other. Why don't you come back to your room with me, Michelle? I would love to teach you how to sew.
But Mom, I want to watch them practice.
Michelle? First of all, you need to watch how you speak, young lady. You do not call me Mom, you call me Mother.
Bitch. I mean, nothing. I didn't say a thing. Nobody heard nothing.
This is what happens when you spend so much time around boys. As your mother, I don't approve of you playing chess or making art. A woman has no need for such skills. They will only make you look insolent.
Well, you heard that here first, Spirit. Lucky you're a guy and you can do art.
Do art. Sorry, I skipped over a line, but you were supposed to say but. I want you to grow up to be a respectable woman. but. That is my job and my dream as your mother. Now come. I would rather you looked at some fine embroidery with me than a couple of sweaty men.
Yes, Mother.
You are my little girl after all.
Bitch. Spending time with my mother was agonizing. Was it because her world was so isolated? No, that wasn't it. Her gentle voice, the sweet scent of her perfume, the way she constantly told me how much she loved me, and her diatribes about how wonderful it was to be a girl.
I misread diatribes as diabetes.
I also read it as diabetes. I was like, oh, you've also got the diabetes, Michael, I see. Speaking of which, I ate an entire fucking bazooki today, and my diabetes, I was just like, ah! I felt my blood sugar swell, and I was like, oh my head. Oh. It was so delicious. But at what cost?
Was it worth it?
Yes. Everything she did was so much pressure on me. But above all, she loved to say,
You are my little girl after all.
And there was nothing strange about that at all. Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw the daughter of a noble. That was who I was. So the only thing wrong was how I felt. But every time I was faced with the reality of who I was, my heart wavered. I had no interest in learning to embroider. I didn't understand why that was necessary. I knew what purpose it served. Everything she taught me I would need when I was wed off to some noble boy, and it was my responsibility to learn those things. It didn't feel right, though. I couldn't accept the fact that one day I would be married. It was but an ominous shadow lurking in my future. I would have preferred ravaging the books in Didier's room than having a conversation with my mother. Tales of heroes of old and dauntless soldiers. Military texts written by tacticians in the midst of war. Thinking about them set my heart aflutter, and it made me think about my brother. He was trained to be a knight. I envisioned armored, flecked with rust, a long sword glimmering with the blood of savages. Soon I found myself in my fantasies, imagining how the sword would feel in my hands, the sensation of the hilt beneath my fingers, swinging it gallantly like my brother. How heavy was it? How much muscle would I need to carry it? How much impact would I feel in my hands when I struck something? How restricted would my vision be wearing a helmet? How much did it weigh? How hot was it inside? I had no way of answering any of those questions, though.
I will say, out of all of the doors, I relate to this one the most. Like, this one pulls at my heartstrings so fucking much.
It'll be okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Kill me now.
I have some cloth if you'd like to wipe yourself off.
Oh yeah, thanks. I'm so dead.
You were at it for a long time.
I've never known Dee to half-ass something once he gets started. Which I guess is what makes him knight material, but...
Are you opposed to him becoming a knight?
Well, you know, I kind of assumed that he'd inherit the estate and handle taking care of everything. So it's like, why has he got to go out and be some priest's whipping boy? Don't tell him I said that, though.
He wants to fight for the greater good.
I don't know. Despite the name, he wouldn't be doing much fighting himself. Anywho, someone as passionate as him might be able to make changes for the better.
Changes?
He knows what condition the Order's in. That's why he's joining. Figured he wants to whip him into shape, melt him down and reforge the whole thing.
Huh, so he might be able to change things.
What? What are you muttering about now, Michelle? Hey, whoa, hold it!
The pain I felt in my chest when I smelled the sweat emanating from George's body, when I looked at his slender but distinctly male build, I was convinced it was admiration. Did I want to become a knight too? Maybe the discomfort I felt was because I wanted to be like him. Would it all go away if he were able to change the rules and I could join the Order as well? I was positive it would.
Didier.
Michelle, hold on. You can't come barging into my room unannounced. I'm trying to change.
We need to talk.
I said, stop. You're a girl. You can't just walk in on a man as he's changing.
I see no reason for you to be so self-conscious.
Listen to me, Michelle.
Georges tells me you're planning to overhaul the Order.
He told you that? No, I hardly have such grand aspirations.
Don't be coy. I believe you have what it takes to do it, Didier.
What's gotten into you? You're unusually fiery today.
So I want to ask you a favor. When you have enough influence in the Order, I would like for you to make me a knight too.
You what?
I'm tired of the way Mother treats me. Always saying I can't do this or that because I'm a girl. I want to learn how to swing a sword. I don't want to do embroidery. I don't care about jewelry or fancy clothing.
Michelle, what's gotten into you?
I'm so much more interested in the world you live in, Didier. So please.
Well, I'll be. I suppose we must have let ourselves spend too much time with you.
Not you too. That's exactly what Mother said.
First of all, Michelle, you don't have the strength to hold a sword.
Then I'll train until I do. And if that doesn't work, I still have my mind. You know well and good I could...
People are not chess pieces, Michelle.
But Didier...
But above all, you're missing the most important point. I will not, for any reason, be the kind of man who makes a woman take up a sword.
Didier...
This may seem normal to you, growing up with two brothers, but I want you to listen to me, Michel. Men and women walk different paths. Men wield swords and fight against dangerous enemies, and they do so to protect the weak, the women and children. I'm here to protect you and your mother.
You're no different than her. You don't treat me any different than her.
Honestly, what's gotten into you, Michel? Why wouldn't I treat you like the daughter of the Bollinger estate? Your brother and I, we never meant to make you think.
Forget it.
What?
I'm sorry. I knew what I was asking was foolish.
Oh?
But I thought you would understand how I feel. Even just a little bit.
What was I expecting him to understand? Even I didn't understand the things I felt. I wanted to know what had gotten into me far worse than he did. What I had done was no better than to throw a temper tantrum. Was I that desperate to become a knight? No. I had just thought that the key to the chains in my heart lay down that road, but ultimately there was nothing. Assuming Didier had agreed, and assuming I did become a knight, it wouldn't do anything for the core problem. As I dashed to my brother's room, I snuck a peek at him, his face filled with an intense perplexity. And how could I blame him? I had tried to push a dozen different ideals onto him all at once, filled myself with the vain hope that he would somehow be able to make sense of me when I couldn't even make sense of myself. And now, bubbling with an unwarranted anger at being let down, I fled to my own chambers. I can only imagine how frustrating that must have been for him. It was the spring of my 14th year. Heavy clouds filled the sky, blocking out the sun and giving the impression of late evening all throughout the day. I, for one, preferred when the sun wasn't out. Not that sunlight would kill me, but if it was bright enough, the whole world was so white I could hardly see a thing, which meant I could only go outside on days where the weather made everyone else gloomy. As I was meandering through the courtyard, sorry, I didn't realize it was still my line. I spotted someone I had never seen before. A warm breeze blew past, sending a swirl of flower petals up. The girl's dress hung lightly over her frame, tracing her gentle curves.
Who are you?
I asked bluntly, and the girl twirled around, smiling.
My apologies. You just have such a beautiful courtyard here. I let myself in for a little walk.
Long chestnut hair flowed around over her feminine shoulders. It swayed slightly in the wind. The cloud of melancholy dissipated in the light of her smile.
You must be Michel. You're just as pretty as I heard.
And you are?
My name is Amy. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Finally meet me? What was she talking about? As I stood there, baffled by this strange woman, she stepped towards me, kissing me softly on the cheek.
I'm thrilled to make your acquaintance, Michel.
Her voice was like someone pouring honey into my ear. Electrifyingly sweet.
I'm George's fiancée.
And it also stuck another needle into my chest. She was a noble girl by the name of Amy Jobert. Though only 15, she was the very image of a refined, polished to a shine. No one had told me my brother was to be married. It came out of nowhere, and it seemed I was the only one who didn't know. That evening, when the family gathered around the table for supper, Amy was there too, and they prepared an extravagant feast for the occasion. My father Antonin looked so proud of his two boys, Didier soon to receive his assignment, and Georges soon to be wed. The banquet proceeded smoothly. Not a doubt in the air that we were a happy family. But my mind was elsewhere. I found myself unconsciously chasing Amy with my eyes, watching the way those slender fingers gripped her spoon, her full lips parting to swallow a piece of fruit in, her deep red tongue visible for but the briefest of moments. The way all the muscles in her face seemed to relax in bliss as sweet juice seeped into her mouth. The way she spoke, so soft and gentle, letting each sound hang in the air just briefly before intoning on the next. She was distinctly feminine, in a way different than my mother. Apparently, Amy was going to be living at the Bollinger estate for some time. Mother was pleased to have another girl around. Or, more specifically, she was relieved to have found someone other than my brothers for me to spend time with. I had assumed I would hate being around another girl. Surely she wouldn't be able to play chess after all. But for some reason, I felt much less suffocated around her than my mother. One night, Amy's family and an array of nobles from both houses' social circles assembled at the estate for a party. A din the likes of which I'd never heard of in my life had filled the great hall. Everywhere I looked, there were people. Servants scrambled every which way, silverware clanged against dishes in an almost constant hum. Voices from all directions. I felt moderately ill.
Hey, Dee, I feel like we're critically short on waiters. This doesn't look good for us.
And who was it that went out about inviting everyone he came across again? Who are those people?
They're artistes like me. I met them at the court. Let's see, we have some painters, composers, sculptors, troubadours, poets, writers, you name it.
None of them have any connection to the Gilberts or the Bollingers.
Sure they do. They're my friends. And you know, this is me and Amy's party.
You can play with your friends elsewhere. I hope you realize we have a reputation to uphold. Off in one corner, several men, presumably George's friends, gathered in a circle. They stood out from the other aristocrats, both in appearance and the air they gave off. The clothes they wore, the embroidery hidden beneath their jacket cuffs, their manner of speech, the way they held themselves. They were, simply put, a far cry from the hard-headed Didier's ideal party guests. Even watching them from afar, it was clear my two brothers ran in very different crowds. The only reason headstrong Didier and free-spirited Georges were able to get along at all was because they were brothers. If they had been strangers, I doubt their paths would cross much, and if they did, those intersections would be quite rocky.
Hey, come here, guys.
George's shouting voice pulled me away from my preoccupied mind back to the surface. He summoned his friends, and then led them to where I stood.
What are you doing hiding in the corner, Michelle? I didn't even notice you. Allow me to introduce you to a few of my friends.
Oh, no, Georges put his hand on my shoulder, peeling me off the wall and standing me in front of his male friends. Socialization was the last thing on my mind. I searched for Didier, hoping he would come to my rescue, but he was off trading pleasantries, facing away from me.
This is my baby sister, Michelle. Be nice.
Georges, I don't...
He says your skin's even more pale than I imagined. It's like something out of a fairy tale. And why have you never brought her with you to the court? She'd be a sure hit. How old are you now? 12, mayhap? Now, don't treat the lady like a child. I'll have you know she's 14. All the more reason she should go out there making friends. The whole court would flap if they knew you had such a gorgeous sister, Georges. Don't be a brute, my man. Our little angel has to be kept inside for personal reasons. Uh-oh, sounds like I haven't been showing the lady our due respect. I've yet to even properly introduce myself. How rude indeed.
Their laughs grated on my nerves, and so did the way Georges spoke as though I was his property. They looked like they were appraising me, which made me sick to my stomach. I'd been paying enough attention to notice the man who'd asked if I was 12, and the rest of them too, examining me from head to toe in search of curves. I was indeed underdeveloped for 14. But what did that matter? I didn't want a body shaped like Amy's or my mother's.
Now then, milady, a proper greeting.
The man got down on one knee before me. For a split second, I didn't comprehend what he was doing.
Go on, Michelle. He's waiting.
He whispered into my ear. That was when it all came back to me, the traditional greeting performed between a man and a woman.
Come on, Michelle. Don't tell me you forgot what to do.
I knew. I knew the process. I had that knowledge. Mother had taught me the rules. She'd shown me the procedure. I was to present my hand to the man for him to kiss. All I had to do was hold out my hand, but I was frozen. My body fought tooth and nail against the simple act. The thought of that man putting his lips on my skin sent a chill through me. Why? Why was this a traditional greeting? Why did I have to go through this?
Michelle.
But the sound of George's frantic voice, my arm creaked up from my side. And then I remember, despite being his friends, they were still nobility. As wanton as his social interactions may have been, he still had a reputation to maintain. And I understood that. I also understood that as their sister, it was my responsibility not to do anything that might tarnish either of my brothers' names. Also, by tradition, the man wasn't supposed to actually kiss the woman's hand. The proper way to do it required he simply mimic the act rather than make real contact. That much I could handle. The man kneeling before me gave me an uncomfortable chuckle at my reluctance, shrugged, and reverently took my hand in his. And then... he pressed his lips firmly against my skin. There was a vaguely warm sensation on the back of my hand for the briefest moment. What are you... Reflexively, I smacked the man's hand away. George's eyes went wide in horror, and the man gave another playful shrug.
I was merely offering you a greeting, my lady. Or is even that a new experience to you? Your innocence is truly precious.
I was half a second away from throwing a barrage of insults, but I bit my tongue and stomped off instead.
What? Michelle! Hey, come back! Michelle!
I had spent all that time convincing myself I couldn't humiliate my brothers, but now I was sure I wouldn't hear a word of it. I had drawn a fair bit of attention, and other people tried to stop me too. But I brushed them all off, marching my way out of the Great Hall.
He has his toy.
Yes, everyone can hear the toy. Can you hear the toy?
And you hear the rattle rattle.
I feel so dirty. You called that a greeting? No, that was no greeting. That was... I'll be taking that. I say, practically swiping a glass of water off of a passing waiter's tray. With it, I washed my hand by the window facing the courtyard.
You can hear Naruto and his rattle rattle.
Rattle, rattle. Let us know if it gets annoying for you guys. We can always shut the door and the rattle rattle will get a little quieter. But no matter how much water I poured over it, I couldn't erase the sickening sensation of his mouth on my hand. So I rubbed it with my sleeve until my skin was bright red. I wanted to feel something else, anything else, even pain. Think before you act, Georges. What were you doing inviting people like that into our home? I was angry, and I had every right to be. He had not performed the proper greeting. Even in jest, he had no business actually putting his lips to my hand. It was not acceptable behavior for an aristocrat. He was a guest. He should have been ashamed. Was I angry that he had been disrespectful? No, that wasn't the reason. It was...
It wasn't very nice of you, running off like that.
At the sound of his voice, I couldn't turn back. I felt a sickening warmth almost directly against my back. The man from the Great Hall grabbed me by the wrist, spun me around, and pressed me against the wall. The bitter scent of wine wafted from above. What the hell are you doing? I tried a second time to get away from him, and that was when reality sunk in. I couldn't do it. All the strength I could muster wasn't enough to make the man's hand budge. My arms were locked in place. I didn't think he was especially strong either. He was hardly built like Didier, and still I couldn't move an inch.
You've got a tongue like a boy, my lady. But I know some people are fond of that these days. Can't say I mind it myself.
Let go! Had I always been this feeble? Were my arms truly so worthless I couldn't even escape this brute's grip? Why did I have to get stuck with this body?
Now, just so we're clear, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm no monster, I promise you that.
Then why are you holding me against the wall?
Because I want a chance to try and woo you. I apologise if I made you uncomfortable back there, but the second I laid eyes on you, I knew you were a keeper.
Then let go of me.
But if I do that, you'll run away. And it's my personal rule to never let go of anything I like. Your brother says you can't go outside, so if I set you loose now, I might never get a chance to catch you again.
I wanted to vomit. Apparently taking my silence for approval, the man perked up and kept going.
If you're not accustomed to being around men, then why not use this as an opportunity to get familiar? Not a half bad idea if I do say so myself. I don't think we'd get along quite well. Besides, I'm a minstrel. Spend some time with me and I'll write you all the songs you could possibly want.
Get away from me.
You really do have the most striking eyes. Makes me want to keep them all for myself. With a muse like that, I could write the most incredible songs you've ever heard.
I said get back, you creep.
Huh. That's odd. Exactly, son. Silence is not consent.
Exactly. Also, I hope you guys are enjoying the uncomfy vibe because people are going to creep on Michelle a lot.
Ugh. That one's never failed me.
The man brought his face just inches from mine and peered into my eyes. I could feel his hot wine-stenched breath against my cheeks. It gave me chills. I couldn't understand why this was happening to me. Panic and confusion had my heart racing. Go and try your luck with someone else.
Leave her alone.
Leave her alone. I'm not interested.
You will be soon enough, darling. You've simply never known a man's touch.
He drew closer. He was already practically on top of me, but he still closed in. Closer and closer. The world faded out. I couldn't see anything. I could feel his rising body heat so near it made me nauseous. My eyes flung open, but there was nothing there. I only felt. I could only feel. I couldn't move. My body wouldn't budge. In my mind, I kicked the man away, pulled my fist back and slammed it into his jaw. Again and again and again until his face was unrecognizable. Again and again and again and again I beat him. But reality would have none of that.
Michelle? Hey, what do you think you're doing?
3 seconds. 10 seconds. Longer. I had no idea how much time I had lost. But the next thing I knew, George has had the man by the collar. I fell back against the wall, staring absent-mindedly as the two struggled. They traded blows and traded insults. Before long, they had drawn a crowd. While they went at it, I distantly drifted away. And I only had one place to go. I didn't even bother to light a candle. I just stared into the darkness. My heartbeat was maddeningly loud in my otherwise silent chambers. What had happened? What had he done to me? Why couldn't I do anything? The last thing I wanted to do was cry. Tears would only serve to worsen my humiliation. Only magnify just how wretched I was. Only make me more offended. I bit down on my lip hard. I had no need for that trash on my body. I dug my nails into my arms. I had no need for that trash on my body. All of this, every last bit of it. That was why I was the way I was. I didn't know how to put it into words. I didn't know how to express this boundless frustration within me. But after enough wordless groaning, a single word slipped from my lips, and it felt incredibly right. God damn it! I knew good and well a girl should not use such words. Even Didier and Georges would have gotten an earful from mother or father if they were caught saying that. Regardless. God damn it! It was the most fitting word I could come up with to represent even the smallest bit of my anger and loathing. I knew all I was doing was shifting the blame. That all it would accomplish was making me look pitiful. But I would take that over crying like a girl any day. I let loose a sigh that was halfway into being a scream, and then started clawing wildly at my hair. I wanted to yank out every last damn strand of it. I didn't want it. I didn't want any of it. Any of this body. But in that case, what did I want from my body?
Michelle? May I come in, Michelle?
It was George's voice, slightly muffled through the door. The man who'd invited those people into this house. I would be lying if I said I didn't hold that against him.
Michelle.
But at the same time, he had also come to my rescue. Besides, I hated myself the most. I despised myself for being so helpless.
I'm sorry, Michelle. I didn't mean to hurt you.
It's not locked. After a few moments of silence, Georges stepped into my room.
Your hair's a mess, Michelle. And my God, you're bleeding.
That was when I first noticed the stinging sensation in my lower lip. A metallic taste spread through my mouth. I had been biting it much harder than I realized. And there was a lot more blood than I expected. A trail of it was running down my chin seconds from spilling onto my clothes when Georges wiped it away.
I'm really sorry, Michelle. He can be a real ass when he drinks. And he's a bit of a womanizer at that.
Okay, so you know this, Georges. You know that he's an ass when he drinks. And you know that he assaults women for fun. And you brought him around your sister, why?
Why?
You hang out with this man, why?
Better
Georges.
friends.
Georges. What the fuck?
Make better choices.
What the fuck, Georges?
What the fuck? I never expected he tried to go after you, though. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. But, you know, there's a chance he may have...
Oh my fucking
genuinely
God.
taken a liking to you.
Oh my fucking... Georges. Georges. Shut.
Shut.
Shut. Shut the fuck.
Cup.
Shut. Shut. Shush. No.
Shut.
No. I'm angry at Georges right now.
Mm-hmm.
Georges is disgusting. Fucking gross. Wait. That just makes it worse.
Sorry. You're right. You want to be with a man you like. I understand.
He ran his hands through my hair as if trying to calm me down, at the same time cleaning up the mess I'd made of it. It made me feel like I was some kind of plaything. A joke of a doll. I don't
Huh?
want to be with anyone. I would never, sorry. I have to,
Puberty again.
you gotta hit puberty again, yeah. I would never, ever be comfortable with a man putting his hands on me like that. However,
I'm sure you'll find someone eventually, Michelle. Someone that feels right for you. I feel kind of awful for introducing you to him, but...
You literally just tried to set her up with the guy that you introduced her to, who actually raped her. Like, what the fuck, Georges? Georges. No.
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 No!
No.
But there are plenty of men in the world. You might not be interested now, but that'll change soon. It's part of growing up. You'd be best off forgetting today ever happened.
I was dead certain, but apparently that wasn't enough to convince him. The very idea I might one day meet a man I wanted to touch made my skin crawl. Why? Why did I feel like this? Was I just not interested in men? No, if that were the case, I wouldn't admire my brother's bodies. I didn't have an aversion to men. In fact, I enjoyed spending time with my brothers far more than indulging my mother in her woman's world. What I couldn't stand was the particular look men would sometimes give me. But why? Why didn't I like that? I had no answer. My thoughts were only going in circles.
Are you okay, Michelle?
He peered down at me, his face twisted in concern. But I couldn't answer him. How was I supposed to articulate this? My anger, my frustration, my irritation, my fear? I had no confidence that he would understand.
Georges, how's Michelle?
Amy's voice came from the doorway. Inexplicably, I felt like someone had stuck their hand in my chest and was now squeezing my heart. Like I'd just been caught in a compromising situation by the last person I wanted to see me.
Oh, yeah, she's doing good. Aren't you?
Yes, I'm fine.
Glad to hear it.
I was clearly lying, not even looking him in the eyes when I'd said that. but that seemed to have gone over George's head. Amy, on the other hand,
You don't look fine at all.
she said, a hint of pain in her voice, and then entered the room.
George's father was asking for you. He says it's time to bring the gathering to a close. You should get going. I'll stay here with her. Oh, is he? Alright then. Sounds good.
Once the sound of George's footsteps had faded into nothing, Amy took a seat beside me and without warning wrapped her arms around my shoulders.
It's much better to talk to another girl at times like this.
My heart leapt to my throat, but beyond the shock, I also found myself welcoming the warmth. It was pleasant, unlike a man's.
That must have been terrifying. But don't worry, you're safe now.
It wasn't really, no.
No need to pretend, sweetie. If a man had me pinned against a wall, I'd be scared too.
I mean it, I wasn't scared. I'm just disappointed in myself.
Alright, I believe you. You're a strong girl, Michelle. There aren't many who wouldn't have been scared. I'll be sure to give George a sit down talking to about his choice in friends. Something I learned today is that he's somewhat of a pushover.
You're a lot more tenacious than I thought.
As a woman in this world, you have to be. And if you're not, well, you'll figure it out soon enough, Michelle. Of course, even as strong as you are, I'm sure it'll still be difficult to forget what happened to you today.
Georges had told me to forget it as soon as possible, and Amy told me I wouldn't be able to. Was it the difference in their individual perspectives, or was it the difference between men and women thought? I wasn't sure. As my head rested against her breast, a bit of my frustration slipped out. I couldn't move my arms at all. He didn't even seem all that strong. I couldn't believe that I was really so weak.
That's just the way of the world, Michelle. Men are physically stronger than women, so you'll almost never overpower one. You're not any weaker than a normal girl. Don't blame yourself.
Though it wasn't the consolation I'd hoped for, her words still filled me with warmth. I had exploited my own weakness to hear more of that soothing voice, and I alone knew how foolish I was in doing so. Someone has a question.
Someone has a quash.
Someone's got a question. Amy frequently visited my bedchambers. I didn't know if it was at Mother's request or of her own volition, but I prayed it was the latter. She was a very touchy-feely person, and she seemed to have a particular fondness for playing with my hair. Whenever her voice danced its way into my ears, it would wreak havoc inside me. Being enveloped in her scent day after day, it stoked the fire growing within me. I did my best to remain as straight-faced as possible, because the last thing I wanted was her catching on. I understood that the things I was feeling were untoward, to say the least.
Your hair is so utterly enchanting. I've never seen hair so white before.
I think having color is much prettier.
Oh? Well, George says white is the most difficult colour to make with paint. There's no greater challenge than capturing the beauty of true white. Living with such a splendid example of the colour must have given him a very high standard of quality. Say, Michelle, maybe you could tell me about yourself today. I would love to get to know you better.
Tell you about myself?
Yeah, we could become even better friends if we found some mutual interests.
I enjoy playing chess, and I consider myself quite good.
Oh my, chess? I've never played. You're such a bright girl, Michelle.
Would you like to try? I could teach you.
I appreciate the offer, but I think I'll pass. I doubt I would be any good.
Oh, okay.
What else is there? Say, your favourite kind of flower, fragrance, colour of gemstone. Are there any embroidery patterns you're particularly skilled at?
I don't have any favorites, no. And I'm not especially good with a needle either.
No? Do you have shaky hands then?
I wouldn't say that, no. I'm
I'm fairly good with a knife, I think.
A knife? Oh, like a kitchen knife.
No, a sculpting knife.
Sculpting?
Is that really so strange?
It is a bit unusual, I'd say.
But George's does it all the time. His room is practically made of wood chips and charcoal and paint.
George's is an artist. And a man. There's nothing unusual about him doing some sculpting.
Why is it okay for him, but not for me? Does being a girl really make that much of a difference?
Well, why don't we practice embroidery together, Michelle? I get the feeling you spent too much time with your brothers. But now you have me. I'm sure it won't be long before you appreciate how much fun cooking and needlework can be.
She sounds just like Mother. And she gives the same reason, too. Because I'm a girl. But that's not an explanation. It's a vague generalization at best. That said, if I agree, I can spend more time with her. Okay.
Wonderful. You'll come up with a beautiful design together. And when you've made something you're proud of, you can give it to a boy who catches your eye. Or if you prefer, you can give it to your father or brother. I would like George's to have what I make, though.
Oh, I've been wondering, did you and George's meet at the royal court?
Oh, heavens, no. I've never been to the court. One day my father told me I was getting married. And the next day is when we first met.
It happened that quickly?
What? Are you worried about me, Michelle? Don't worry. I'm not displeased with the arrangement. In fact, I'm quite happy with it. Aristocratic marriages are almost always sudden. And as a woman, you get used to being a piece in their games. But he's different. He's a gentleman.
A gentleman, him?
You sound surprised.
I believe hedonist suits him better.
Oh, I quite disagree. I have complete faith he'll do good by me.
I couldn't fathom where she found such confidence in him. Especially a man she'd only just met. How could she trust him at all? She was nothing but a pawn and she knew it. So maybe she was simply putting on an act. I had trouble believing her smile was anything but genuine, though.
One day you'll meet the right man for you, Michelle. And he won't be a drunk like the guy from earlier. He will be a kind, hard-working, respectable man.
I would rather not find anyone.
I suppose this is all still too soon for you, huh? Say, how old are you, Michelle?
14.
Oh, wow. I assumed you were younger.
Do I really look that young?
No hard feelings. You're just like a tiny little doll, so small and slender. And look, not one bit of meat up here at all.
Hey!
She playfully grabbed me from behind and started prodding at my chest. As her delicate fingers slid across my skin, I found myself gripped by very indecent urges. Every heavy thump of my heart felt sinful. She couldn't know, I couldn't let her. Everything I'd been fighting to keep down came hurling to the surface.
You're so cold, you know that?
She was touching me like it was nothing, caressing my hair. Was she this intimate with George's? Or was it because I was a younger girl that she was so keen on putting her hands all over me? Before I understood what I was feeling, my body acted. It was pure, unfiltered impulse. In my attempt to escape her grip, I twisted around only to find my face inches from Amy's. Slowly gravitating closer, I pressed my lips against the corner of her mouth. Amy sat there flabbergasted. I was equally aghast.
I'm sorry.
As I frantically put some distance between us, I made sure I'm sure my face was red as an apple, though I didn't know it at the time.
Well, that was certainly unexpected. I'm sorry. Did I make you uncomfortable touching you so much?
Amy was smiling, though it looked forced.
No, not at all.
Then I must have startled you. I'm sorry. If I had let you go sooner, we could have avoided this accident.
What do you mean accident?
A kiss on the lips is...
It wasn't an accident. It wasn't, Amy.
I seem to have confused you somewhat, Michelle.
What?
I know I can be very touchy-feely with you, and you took that to mean you should do the same.
No,
You can't do that again, alright? If you want to kiss your friends, you do it on the cheek. Save the lips for the man you love. I should get going then. Georgia starts getting cranky if I don't give him enough attention.
So just so we're all on the same page, guys. Michelle shouldn't have kissed Amy. But Amy shouldn't have been groping Michelle.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying that anyone was consenting to anything by the behavior that they were portraying.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody's getting gropey and touchy-feely with you, what do you assume? Like, what is the thing that comes into your head?
You should, oh, this person likes me, maybe I should do the same.
Exactly. It's, like, I don't think what Michelle did was predatory in the slightest. Because Amy was sending all kinds of fucking signals.
Yeah.
Like, you can think what you think. You can think that maybe Amy didn't mean it. Maybe they've got different customs between the families. Maybe Amy's fucking with her. Whatever you think. But it's... If you're getting touchy-feely like that with somebody, and they get touchy-feely back, I don't feel like you should be offended.
No.
I mean, I guess there are instances where maybe if you're a little touchy with somebody, you know, like if you're hugging somebody and they turn around and they full-on kiss you,
Mm-hmm.
like that's different.
Yeah.
But she was grabbing her breasts and squeezing her ass. Like, that kind of touchy-feely, a kiss in response seems perfectly appropriate.
Yeah.
And, you know, even then, even if it's not, then, you know, Amy should be like, don't do that. Michelle should be like, okay. And then Michelle should say something like, maybe don't grab my chest and stuff then. If you're not angling that way, maybe stop touching me.
Yep.
Hold on, Amy.
So long, Michelle.
She wouldn't hear me out. Once Amy had fled my chambers, that was when I finally comprehended my own emotions. That she had stolen my heart. But Amy was George's fiancée. No, that wasn't the problem. My body. It was not meant for her to love. I woke in the middle of the night with pain in my joints. Not enough to exercise, I guess. I tried bending and stretching my arms and legs, but it did nothing. So after pondering on it a bit, I decided to go for a late night walk to distract myself. As I approached the corridor adjacent to the courtyard, I heard a woman's voice.
I'm still concerned about staying here.
Amy's voice. Doing my best to remain perfectly quiet, I pressed myself up against the wall by the window and listened in on their conversation. I knew it was improper to eavesdrop, but the sound of her voice had me frozen in place.
It's Michelle. I'm afraid I've confused her.
A tiny jolt ran down my spine, my muscles all tensing up at once. The sound of my name rising to her lips, but not in the way I would have liked.
She kissed me. Well, almost, but how could I have guessed she thought of me that way? Mother told me she didn't have any female friends, and asked me to be one for her, which is why...
So she had only been coming to see me because Mother had asked her to. I'd been afraid of that. Afraid that she wasn't there to be with me. That she had no fondness for me. That my yearnings for her were one-sided.
She kind of scares me. The way she looks at me, always watching every little move I make. I'm sensitive to that sort of thing. I can tell what's going through Michelle's mind. I managed to deflect it this time, but I should have never gotten friendly with her.
She had seen through me from day one. Understood what I was feeling even before I had.
It's disgusting, homosexuality.
homosexuality. Did I hear her right?
Fuck's sake, Amy.
Something inside me crumbled, and with it came an intense sense of wrongness. There it was again, the overpowering discomfort, that fear coursing through my veins, that repulsion, that irritation, that apprehension. What on earth was I? Did I view Amy as a member of the same sex? Were the things I felt homosexual? I heard Amy sigh from beyond the window. Then the man beside her, who she was confiding all this in, replied, "She's just a child." That voice. And one with underdeveloped social skills besides. Understand that she's going to do and say some inappropriate things. It's not uncommon for a child to mistake admiration for love. And I didn't know this until recently, but when she gets something into her head, she has a tendency to run with it without thinking. It was not the man I assumed it was. The other day, she had asked me to let her be a knight. I can't imagine how she thought it would end any other way. Why? It's not very often that there are women other than Mother at the estate. I imagine she simply got nervous being around you and something got mixed up in her head. Why was Didier out there with her?
I hope that's all it was.
Amy, hadn't you told me? You thought Georges was a gentleman. So what were you doing? Getting so friendly with Didier? And Didier, weren't you my ally? Or was that all an act like her? You were going to be a knight. So why were you out here with your brother's fiancée? I'm glad to have you here, so I hope you can figure something out to make it work.
I'll do what I can, and I'm kind of reluctant to say this to you, but something has to change. As it is, she kind of grosses me out.
She grosses me out? So what, was I some kind of sick, disgusting creature? All I had done was show feelings for her. I couldn't be Georges or Didier. The needles piercing me expanded, both in size and in number. Soon I was being skewered by a dozen of them. And the heated sighs rising from the courtyard only served to make the pain worse. All I could do was cover my ears and run. Why? What were you doing out there, Didier? How am I gross, Amy? That's not real. It's all a bunch of lies. This entire house is nothing but a fraud. None of it was ever real. The family gatherings, Amy's smiles, Didier's kindness, George's... What about George's? What about George's? Did he agree to the marriage knowing about them? What the hell are they thinking? You want to know who's really disgusting? Ugh. Oh, God damn it! I will not cry. I will not cry. I can't let myself. Girls cry. Tears are for girls, not for me. I bit down on my lip hard, wrapped myself in my sheets, and pressed my hands hard over my ears. Squeezed my eyes shut as tight as I could manage, tried to get away from the things I had seen. Images of them embracing in the night threatened to float back to the surface, but I shook my head, casting them off, praying I wouldn't have any nightmares. I drifted to sleep. Okay, so what do we think? Are things going about how you expected so far?
I don't know what I was expecting.
Did you have any expectations for the family? Any expectations for Amy?
The mother is about as gross as expected.
Oh, she's about as gross as you expected, so you don't expect her to get worse. Got it. I will mark that down for later. One
No,
second,
I expect her to get worse.
Alright, what about everyone else?
I'm disappointed in the brothers. And I didn't think I would be, especially George's. I didn't think I would be too disappointed in him, but I'm disappointed in him.
Yeah. I think I would be less disappointed in George's if when he'd gone back to Michelle's room, right? And by the way, I'm going to be using Michelle until the story is like, da-da-da, my name is Michael. Because that's the way the story is referring to it, so that's the way I'm going to refer to it. So when he went to Michelle's room, right?
Yeah.
And she was crying and stuff, I think I would have been significantly less put off by him if he'd said, you know, that guy, he's an ass when he's drunk, and he's a womanizer, and, you know, I didn't think it was a big deal, but I see how it's affected you, and how it must affect the other women, and I'm so sorry I brought him around. I would have instantly forgiven him. I would have instantly forgiven him if he'd said something like that.
Yeah.
But the fact he's like, well, I'm sorry he was like that with you, but I think he has the hots for you. I think he likes you. I think he thinks you're attractive. It's like, are you fucking serious?
Fuck's sake.
Of course he thinks she's fucking attractive. She was just fucking raping her in the hallway. Like, he clearly has some kind of attraction to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fuck? The fuck?
The fuck?
But I don't know. I feel like I would be better with him if he had realized the error of his ways and apologized.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Amy?
I'm disappointed and disgusted by her as well.
When she showed up, did you expect that she was going to be pretty okay?
No, I had a feeling. Like, everyone in this thing goes to shit, so I was expecting her to go to shit.
And last question before we continue. What do you think of Michelle Michael at this point? Like, kid them. Do you think that they're in the wrong in any way? Or do you think that they're pretty much... I find them relatable as hell. I find them relatable as hell. Like, listening to the way that she's speaking at this point, right? About, there's these feelings, this wrongness within me. I can't place what it is. I don't know what's going on. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm hormonal.
Yeah.
I 100% relate to that.
Yes.
I 100% get that.
I feel like, honestly, the only place they kind of went too far was with the kiss, but...
Yeah.
Other than that...
And honestly, the kiss was too far, but it also, in my opinion, wasn't. Because it was too far, but she was also being groped by this woman.
Yeah.
And so the woman was putting out all the signals.
Yep.
Like, for someone who's disgusted in her, Amy is handsy as hell.
Yeah.
Like, for being so disgusted in her, you'd think she wouldn't touch her at all. There's something sus there.
Yep.
Like, I have thoughts about it, but I really don't want to get into it and give anything away. Or start talking about theories that there is no proof for at this point. But anyway, we can continue. I wanted to know what you thought so far, because this is my favorite chapter.
Yeah.
It's my least favorite chapter, too. I love this chapter, and I hate this chapter with every fiber of my being.
I see.
It's great, and it's fucking awful. The next day, I awoke with a terrible fever. I hovered in a sweltering wave of heat, unable to tell dream and reality apart, listening to a seamlessly endless stream of crackling noises. The sounds were coming from inside my own body. I thought I was falling apart. Mother was horribly worried. I'd never been the most healthy child, but I'd never fallen this ill either. I couldn't get out of bed. My voice was raspy like an old woman's. I was genuinely afraid I was going to wither away and die. Mother called for a doctor, another doctor, and they all came to see me, but all they said was it was the flu. The bodily pain was common with a fever. While there was a doctor in the house, Mother was able to remain relatively calm, but once they were gone, the anxiety came back. She stayed with me day and night, even for going to sleep. Her hands gripped mine, they held me fast. She had her head bowed as if in prayer.
Don't worry, Michelle. It'll be alright. God is watching over you. He will protect you.
By the way, guys, the yawn was part of the line. Don't worry. It's fine. It's not contagious if it's fake. It's fine. It's fine. Right? It was fake.
Yes.
Very
sweet.
fake.
She hasn't slept.
Exactly.
She's gonna yawn. What happened to it not being contagious if it was fake?
I lied. It was real. It was real. I was trying to convince myself it was fake because I could feel it coming, and I'm like, no, no, no.
You are his child. You are his angel sent to earth. He will not forsake you. The doctors say it's just the flu.
Though her words seemed to be directed at me, there was a vacantness in her voice, as if they were really for herself. Somebody who's been around evangelical folk when they pray, like that's honestly how it feels. Like it's more for the person doing the praying than it is for the person being prayed for or the entity they're praying to. But I mean, you know, I'm sure there are exceptions, but in my experience, that's been the case. There's nothing wrong with it being for yourself, by the way, but like, if you're praying in front of somebody else and it's very clearly for your own comfort and not theirs, I find it incredibly rude.
Yeah.
So like, if she was praying like this in her room, I'd be like, whatever, fine. But the fact that she's praying like this in front of Michelle is gross. For so long, she had wanted a daughter. I couldn't understand her fixation, but seeing her there through my cloudy eyes... Sorry. I wanted to apologize for ever thinking spending time with her was agonizing.
How are you feeling? Your mother's here for you. Don't worry.
But the only sound that came from my mouth was a faint gasp. I drifted in and out of sleep, mother's hand wrapped around my own. And I had numerous dreams. In my dreams, I was a man. In my dreams, I was Didier, and I was George's. In my dreams, I fell in love with Amy. And in my dreams, I loved her.
You're disgusting.
But with one word, the dreams twisted into nightmares. My body was torn into fleshy chunks, and I sunk deep into the darkness. Also, for those of you who are there, I would definitely love to hear your takes on stuff as they happen, so feel free to, even if you disagree with me, feel free to tell me why. Very interested.
Teach him why.
Exactly, teach me why. I love talking about this game, so even if you disagree with me about literally everything in the game, I do not care. I want to talk about it. Tell me. Tell me.
Tell him.
Teach him. Teach him why.
Teach him why.
Teach him why. Several days later, my fever was gone, like it had never been there. However, what the... My voice did not recover. And when I attempted to climb from my bed, the murderous pain in my joints came rushing back. Instead of my feet, I landed on my face. Ugh. My voice was unbelievably deep. Ugh. Ugh. And the pain only got worse. Every time I took a breath, it felt like someone hammering a spike into the back of my neck. It felt like my body was falling apart. My dreams were becoming reality.
Michelle? Michelle!
When Mother scrambled into my chambers, I remembered the time she'd spent at my bedside, and a wave of relief came over me. I reached my hand out in a show of vulnerability, but she didn't take it. She couldn't take it. Mother?
What? What's wrong with your voice, Michelle? I see. You're still not feeling well, are you, Michelle?
A look of restrained fear on her face, Mother stepped toward me, placing her hand on my forehead. Her palm felt hot against my skin.
You don't have a fever.
But I hurt all over. My joints.
You're still sick, Michelle. But don't worry, you'll be fine in no time. Now back to bed with you. You're a girl. You're a girl, so you shouldn't be sitting on the floor. It's bad for your back.
As Mother repeated the phrase, "You're a girl," again and again, that nagging sense of something not being quite right grew more distinct. Was I really sick? Was this actually my voice now?
And if it was, what was I turning into? My voice was certainly not a girl's voice. You know, during this scene, I know that, like, I shouldn't make fun of it, but I'm gonna anyway. I imagine, you know, like, those TikToks where you have, like, the little kid and they open their mouth and it's very clearly been dubbed over by a guy going like, what?
Yeah.
That's all I can see. Just like some little fucking 4-year-old kid running up and then in like the deepest, manliest voice going, what? Fuck you say to me, what? Like that's all I can picture.
Yeah.
Michelle just goes, what? What? My voice never went back to normal, though. So Mother ordered me to remain in my room. I hadn't recovered yet. So as long as I was sick, I couldn't be let out. Again, something felt wrong about her calling it a sickness, but I had no evidence to the contrary. I had no way to know that I wouldn't get others sick if I exposed them, as she claimed, so I had no choice but to do as she said. In time, Mother too stopped visiting me, and the only people I saw were servants. They did their jobs but refused to look me in the eye. No one else came to see me, though. Not Amy, Didier, or George's. 1 month passed, then 2, then 3. Occasionally, the pain in my joints would withdraw. At other times, it would worsen. Whenever I would drift to sleep, I would hear the sound of my own joints creaking. I would dream of a woman standing in the courtyard, her soft chestnut hair fluttering in the wind as she twirled to face me, a smile on her face and her breasts exposed.
Boobies.
The fact that he's sitting here clearly having trauma and he's like, titties.
Boobies.
Also, fuck's sake, Michael, becoming a straight man.
Michael.
You could be anything and you chose to be a straight man. I kid.
He could.
Hashtag it's not a choice.
Not choice.
Hashtag boobies. Hashtag squeeze morals. Yeah. Here, turn around.
Honk, 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 honk.
Don't mind me. Just using my demonic forms to do the squishy squish.
To squishy the boobs.
To squishy the boobs. I hope you know that, like, after the stream, I fully intend to, like, face plant straight into your bare chest.
That's fine.
Like, One day, after about 6 months of servants refusing to make eye contact, I stepped out and made a request. To have a mirror brought to my room. While he didn't acknowledge me, the next day I had my mirror. By that point, I was fairly certain I knew what was happening to my body. I had no clothes to wear, because none of the multicolored dresses hanging in the wardrobe would fit me anymore. Pulling the heavy red cloth covering the mirror aside, my completely naked body came into view. That doesn't look completely naked. What's this? This looks like cloth. This looks like cloth. That is not naked. Lies! Lies! Also, boop, boop. Go away, Epic. Epic Games is like, hey, 25% off coupon. I'm like, no!
Not no.
Something resembling a mix of a chuckle and a sigh of pity spilled from my lips. This is me. 6 months. After only 6 months' time, I could hardly recognize myself. Extending my hand for the mirror, I traced the outline of my bony reflection. My shoulders lacked Mother's curves and my skin Amy's sheen. I was pale and haggard, but structurally I looked like my brothers. Obviously, being younger than them and not as active, my muscles lacked any kind of strength, but I wouldn't have batted an eye if I saw myself holding a sword. I was a full head taller than I'd been 6 months earlier, and I felt oddly certain that I wasn't done growing either. Staring at myself in the mirror, I traced my name across the surface. Michel. Don't need the last two. Michael. Oh, the name did the thing!
It did the thing.
It did the thing!
Look at him.
Look at him! For the first time in my life, I liked my name. I still didn't think an angel's name suited me one bit, but it was staggering how different it felt now, even if it sounded exactly the same. Those last two letters changed the meaning entirely, turning it from a girl's name into a boy's name. Now this makes sense. Everything was falling into place. My admiration for Didier, the envy I had for my brother's bodies, the feelings I had for Amy, the indecent dreams I'd been having. I was always male. I cackled like a fool for the first time in my life. I laughed so hard at the sight of myself that my stomach hurt. It was the first glimmer of light I had seen in this locked room in far too long. This is what I was supposed to look like. My life up until 6 months ago, constricted and uncomfortable. My life as a girl, it was all a lie. That's a lie!
A lie.
It's a lie! A
A
lie!
lie.
Oh, Kokichi, get out! Get out! It's not your place. It's not your time. No, get out of here with that shit! Get out! Get out! Go away! You have to wait for Friday for like 6 months from now. Get out. It's fine. You can come back whenever your half of V3 is here. Spirit is offended. Kokichi's like one of his favorite characters. He's fucking offended. He's like, how dare you?
How fucking dare.
No one could possibly look at me and call me an angel. Wrong franchise! I did the laughing. Thank you. I was always a boy, but I'd been told I was a girl, forced to act like one. Of course that wouldn't feel right. They needed to know. I couldn't be the only one who understood. Everyone in this house needed to. Fueled by this one desire, I wrapped a sheet over my shoulders and threw open the door. Are you fucking ready?
I'm ready.
You're fucking ready?
I'm fucking ready.
He's heard rumors of this scene. He knows. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It seemed ridiculous how long I'd followed Mother's instructions and remained cooped up in my room. And now I felt fantastic. If there truly was a God in heaven, then this change within me was his answer to all of my prayers. A manservant carrying a tray of food did a double take as I passed him. The farther I proceeded through the corridors, the more I felt eyes on me. The midday sun shone obnoxiously bright through the windows. But now, with its piercing radiation illuminating my proper self, I felt an odd affection for the light. I could hear the family gathered in the great hall. Everyone but me. Didier's voice complained about the simple meals the church provided, but his pride came through in his laughter. George's voice playfully bragged about life at the royal court. Father's informed everyone of his investments that they'd borne fruit, and with the money he had purchased several new estates. Mother's voice was distinctly less bright than the rest of the family's. She gave vague, empty indications that she was listening, but mostly stayed out of the conversation. Amy's voice sang her praises for George's, her beloved husband. Never mind the fact that she was sleeping with Didier. It was all a facade. A mere shadow of a family.
It's a shame Michelle couldn't be here. Then we would have everyone.
I was there. I was right there. I hadn't gone anywhere. You had just locked me in my room.
I hope she recovers soon.
I was never sick at all. That child you called Michelle, was actually your son. That was all there was to it.
Huh?
Huh?
What?
Everyone's gaze is concentrated on me. I gave them all a quick glance, and then with my deepened voice I said, I am cured. I was cured 6 months ago. Who are you? Surely you haven't forgotten my face, have you? Father?
Michelle?
Michelle? This boy is Michelle? A wave of chatter spread through the hall. Mother went pale. Father objected. Didier stared. Georges gaped. Amy watched cautiously, fear in her eyes. What a farce. They were the ones who had wrongly decided I was a girl.
What's going on? Someone tell me, what is the meaning of this? You were dressing your son up like a girl, Mother? I assumed he was a girl. Otherwise I wouldn't have put my hands on him like that. You lied to me. I would never have agreed to it had I known. No, you're wrong.
No, that's wrong.
That's wrong. Michelle is my daughter. You call that a girl? All these months I was worried because you said he was sick. But that was all a lie. You couldn't pass him off as a girl anymore, so you locked him up in his room. Is that what this is? And you could have just stayed there. What possessed you to show yourself now? Stop that. Don't look at me. Don't give me that look.
You said you can tell what's going through my mind, didn't you?
What?
Then you should know exactly how I feel about you right now. Don't be so damn full of yourself. I have no interest in a whore like you. So why don't you go cry into Didier's arms? You!
What? Huh? What are you talking about? Why did he? Why not me? What? Hey, anyone want to explain that for me?
What had once been a nice family meal was now utter chaos. For the briefest moment, I felt sorry for Georges, but that whisked away almost immediately. See, I had the same feeling. I felt briefly bad for him, and I was like, wait, no, he's kind of a cunt. Never mind, fuck him. Bye. Though, to be fair, like, nobody deserves to have their spouse cheat on them. Nobody deserves that.
No.
There was a crash from the table. The dishes fell, shattering to the floor.
Cursed.
A chilling darkness oozed from her voice.
She's cursed. She was my daughter. I saw it with my own eyes. I gave birth to her. She was a girl. Michelle was a girl. A malevolent curse has been placed on her.
When Mother lifted her head, I had difficulty believing that she was the same woman who had sat by my bedside as I lay sick, sacrificing sleep to care for me. Her hair was a frazzled mess, and deep creases covered her face.
Restrain her. Throw her in the room and lock the door. She's a girl. A girl. She was a girl, I swear it.
Open your eyes! Do I sound like a girl? Do I look anything like a girl? Mother's cries sent me into a frenzy. I ripped the sheet off my shoulders, throwing it to the floor. I am not a girl! And shouted.
Restrain her, please. Someone restrain her.
Fear reignited in the hall. But then several moments of icy silence were broken by muttering that shocked me as much as anyone else.
You're not a boy or a girl. What on earth are you? You're an abomination.
You're not a boy. You're an abomination. I'm what? I had seen myself in the mirror. I was undoubtedly male. Lacking in strength though they may have been, I had visible muscles. My chest was flat and I was taller than a girl should be. My voice was deep and I had an obvious lump in the middle of my throat. I was male, I had to be male. What else could I be? So why was Amy looking at me like some kind of strange creature? A chill ran down my spine. and I suddenly found myself deeply uncomfortable being so exposed.
Nothing there. You've got nothing there.
Nothing there? I didn't understand what she was talking about. Unable to press further, I fell silent, at which point several servants burst into the great hall and restrained me.
She's a girl. She's my daughter.
Mother, seemingly in a mad daze, just repeated the same thing over and over.
She was a girl!
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the fact that mom is fucking suffering, and it's literally nothing for her to suffer over. It's like, oh.
As Mother wailed, she wandered off somewhere. Father stood there in silence. Amy stared at me with disgust in her eyes. Georgia was still in a panic, and Didier clenched his fists. Eventually, I started regaining my composure, which is when I realized I had made a mistake. My sickness had been made into a curse. I was once more caged up in my room. In addition to the door being locked from the outside, the windows were boarded up so no one could see in, leaving me in perpetual darkness. I received no visitors except for the servants, and again, none of them would look me in the eye. Every day was the same, day in, day out, day in, and day out. The only time the routine changed was when on occasion a servant would arrive bearing a letter. It was my mother's handwriting on the parchment. We lived in the same house, yet she refused to show herself before me. I had no choice but to respond to her letters. She demanded I speak like a girl, and I didn't have the strength to defy her. There was a constant sense of urgency in her letters, like that she might fall apart at any second. So I did as she said. I signed each letter Michel, the female name bestowed upon me at birth, which I so despised. Every time I used that name, I felt like I was denying my own identity. On paper, she expressed concern for me, but that concern only served to cause me more pain. So every time I took up my quill, my hands trembled. Mother. She prayed daily that my curse might one day be broken. Am I cursed? Is that why my body changed? Was it not because I was male? There's nothing there. What did she mean by that? Why did she look at me the way she did? How am I an abomination? I don't understand. Someone, anyone. Please tell me. Someone, please!
I have brought your supper. I will be back shortly to retrieve your dishes. I'll be going then.
Wait.
What?
Wait a minute.
Yes? What do you need, Michelle?
Are you a man or a woman?
Pardon?
Which are you?
I am exactly what I appear to be.
Oh, don't give me any of that shite!
Fucking shite.
Shite! It's fine. It's about to be funny for like half a second.
Oh,
Which are you?
I'm a man.
You'd be like, yes, the servant, a woman. Servant.
Mm-hmm.
No. Alright, that's it. That's the funny. You can go home now.
If that's all, I will be going now.
Clothes off.
What?
Take your clothes off right now. Everything, even your underclothes.
What? Surely you jest, Michelle.
I am very serious.
I could not possibly.
Why not?
I could not expose myself.
I order you to take off your clothes.
You mean to humiliate me? I beg you, please reconsider.
What are you? You're a servant of the Bollinger estate. The first douchebaggy thing that Michael has done.
Yes.
The first douchebaggy thing. Everybody else has done like 12 douchebaggy things.
Yes.
he's like, time to act like a bowler, time to be a douchebag.
Time to be a dickhead. Strip.
And what am I? I'm a child of the Bollinger family. I may be locked up, imprisoned in this room, but that doesn't make you any less my servant. Am I wrong? Clothes off.
Michelle.
I ordered you to take your clothes off.
Ugh.
Not even the tiniest sliver of guilt arose in my conscience. I felt no shame in what I was doing. All that mattered to me was figuring out what Amy had meant. I wanted to find out the truth. Not knowing, I would have been better off in the dark. His face twisted in humiliation. The servant undressed before me. In the dim candlelight, the man's body was shaped almost like a rectangle. And at a glance, he didn't appear much different than me. A second later, though, I found my answer. I found the one crucial thing that he had that I didn't. Why? My lower body lacked the part that made a man a man.
It's okay, Michael. I'm also lacking the part that makes a man a man.
I'm not. You know what makes the man a man?
The ability to eat a steak.
Yes. No. What makes a man is the little impulses in the brain that go, hey, motherfucker, hey. You're a man. You're a fucking man. You're a man! That is the part of the body that makes a man a man.
I'm not lacking that then.
You don't have to have a dick to be a man. It's fine.
No.
But
you
besides...
You do not have to have a dick to be a man. You do not have to have a vagina to be a woman. You can have whatever the hell you want.
You don't have to have a brain to be a human either. I found that out going on Twitter.
Oh.
No. For real though. My bisexuality-ness would be very upset if all men had penises and all women had vaginas. I need spice of life. I need transgender porn. Not that I can look at it anymore, because I live in Texas, and it's been taken away.
It's been basically fucking banned.
Basically banned. Makes me very upset.
Upsetty spaghetti.
But no, honestly, like, the bi in me is like, I need my boys with pussies. I need my boy pussies. I need my girls with dicks. I need my boys with dicks. My women with pussies. I need the whole spread. I need my non-binary folks with literally whatever they want. Like, just all of it. I need all of it. All of it has to exist in my world or I'm disappointed. I don't have to physically have it all. It just has to all exist. And I have to know it's there.
You have to know it's there.
I have to know it's there. No, for real though.
Yes,
real.
we stand Bussy and Gawk.
Exactly. Bussy and Gawk. Amazing. Amazing. Just like the transgender porn that has been fucking banned in Texas basically because you can't get porn up there anymore. Fucking taking my porn away. Have it. Fucking. It makes me very upset. Yes. I'm very angry about it. I haven't had a proper rant about it since it happened. So this is the rant. It happened. It happened, and nobody liked it. It's fine. Alright, servant.
Are you satisfied, Michelle?
It was then that I finally learned what a man's body was supposed to look like.
I'm begging you, please allow me to dress. It would be an unbearable shame to remain unclothed any longer before the unborn your daughter.
Daughter? You still insist on calling me a damn girl? Look at these shoulders, my chest, listen to my voice. How can you possibly think any of that belongs to a girl?
But how you appear does not...
There was a distinct look of fear in the manservant's eyes. Not out of respect for our differences in rank, but out of disgust for the incomprehensible thing standing before him. Those trembling eyes, and the reality dangling there before me, blew the lid once more off of everything I had been holding back. Without that, you would be no different than me.
What?
Everything else is the same. So why
Why does it make such a difference? That you have one and I don't.
Michelle?
I am a man. I'm a man just like you. I am no one's daughter.
Mm.
And if you still insist we're not the same, then I'll make you like me. Michael being a dick, part 2. Without that, you're no different than me. It was a mix of dread and panic that pushed me over the edge. And so, in order to keep myself afloat, I decided to bring another one pain.
Please don't do this, Michelle.
In a blind frenzy, hardly even aware of what I was doing, just riding the current of my erupting emotions, I swiped a knife off the tray the man had brought, knocked him down, and climbed on top of him. I'll get rid of it. I'll make you the same. Without it, you'll be just like me.
Get off me, please.
Michael, please get off of him.
Someone help.
Michael, please get off of him. Please.
Michael,
Please.
Michael.
This is not how we deal with our emotions.
No.
We go to therapy and we get cats like normal people. I'll make you just like me.
Get in here, someone, anyone. Michelle. She's delirious.
Through the fog of hysteria, I suddenly realized I was surrounded by several servants, and the next thing I knew, I was on the floor beneath them. There were as many, if not more of them, than when I had made the scene in the Great Hall. A dozen manservants stared down at me, their eyes filled with fear and revulsion. And in the shadows beyond the crowd, I saw Mother looking down at me with vacant eyes. Mother. Mother, why? Why will you only speak to me through letters? Why do you say that I'm cursed? Mother, I'm male. I was always male. Tell me that I am Mother. Let me out of here, please. I'm not delirious. My head is perfectly clear. On the gender stuff, yes. Trying to cut another man's dick off, I'm afraid no. And Michael, that was kind of a dick bag move, Michael. Maybe that's what he was doing. He had to fill the dick bag.
Mm-hmm.
He had to fill it full of peen. Freshly harvested peen. You want to see a movie about freshly harvested peen? Spirit's got a recommendation for you.
Does it class as freshly harvested peen if it ends up in a being carried about in a box for over 24 hours?
No. Semi-fresh.
Semi-fresh.
It's about as fresh as grocery store produce. I'm not delirious. My head is perfectly clear. I'm normal. There's nothing wrong with me. Spill it.
There is a movie on Netflix called The Package, and spoiler, a guy gets his dick cut off and the dick is carried about in a cooler.
Is it really a spoiler if it happens in the first 5 minutes?
Gets carried about in a cooler for over 24 hours as his friends try to get his dick back to the guy.
A bunch of stuff happens to that dick. That movie makes me viscerally uncomfortable, but it's so funny watching, I kind of go out of my body and watch myself react to that movie, and watching my reactions is fucking funny. Like, my soul leaves my body, and I can see me sitting there going, what the fuck? And it's so funny.
It's great.
Like, I am more entertaining than the movie is.
Inhale. Yes, son.
Why are you inhaling it?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey,
I am not cursed. Mother, say something.
Unholy screech.
Unholy screech. Your timing was perfect. You said that just before the ad started.
Yeah.
Unless that's what it's about. Maybe that's what it's about.
Maybe the advert is all about the package, and that's why he has unholy screech.
Maybe.
We can't see the adverts.
No, I was meaning maybe he's like, because, the ads were starting and people were going to be missing the chaos.
Oh.
He's just sad people are missing the chaos.
Sad.
Mm-hmm. Gizmo.
Gizmo.
And now back to me. Mother!
My advert would like to tell us that the floor is mine.
What?
I looked over it and all it said was, the floor is yours. It's like,
Okay.
I see. The floor is mine.
I see.
I see.
I
It
see.
all makes sense now.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
No.
After that, I was shut in my room again. And even the servants stopped coming.
Yeah, I don't actually mind. I don't actually mind. I think I'm funny. I think I'm funny. I think I'm funny. I think I'm funny. I think I'm hilarious.
The mailbox is yours. I see. You can have it.
I pushed and I shoved and I pulled and I pounded with all my strength, but the door and windows didn't budge. Well, was this pounding in your dream, Michael, or was it real?
Was it real, Michael?
What kind of pounding was it? I want to know.
Were you having more baby dreams?
I was having booby dreams.
Having more baby dreams.
A day passed and then another. I was like, what changed? The text changed. What changed?
What changed?
With no food or water, I started fearing death was upon me. I had no idea how miserable it was to go so long without water. My throat was dry and cracked, and it felt like it was on fire, making breathing difficult. I'm suggestible because now my throat is dry and cracked.
Oh.
2 days. 48 long hours. I felt like I was going to lose my mind. After just 2 days, my skin stretched across my skin stretched across my bones, looking hard and dry in the soft candlelight. Water. I need water. Someone please give me water.
Water.
Why won't anyone bring me any? Why? My family had abandoned me and were leaving me to die in this room. When I realized that, I broke into an uncontrollable shaking. The helplessness that threatened to suffocate me. Fear of death turned to panic, which only scrambled my already confused mind further. I grabbed a chair, swinging it at the window, at the door.
What was that noise?
It's 9 o'clock. It was my phone telling me it's time to take my medicine.
Oh, it sounded like a doorbell. I was like, we don't have a doorbell. We don't have a doorbell.
We don't have a doorbell.
Well, when are we gonna? We have a doorbell, but it's not been installed. We've had it sitting on the fucking counter for like 5 months.
Many months.
But all my attempts ended in crushing failure. Anyone! I clawed at the door, begging for help. Someone, open the door! Anyone! Water, I need water! 1 drop, that's all I need! I'm gonna die in here! Someone! Anyone! Mother, father, Didier, Georges! Someone open the door, please! Help me! Someone! I need water! My throat, it hurts! It burns! I'm so weak! Someone, water! Didier, Georges, anyone! Speaking of water, you can get Big Sippy Time over at Poggers with our code. Since the chat decided it was time to tell us. The chat was like, oh, Michael wants water? Well, have you considered energy drink? Energy drink. But not a single soul came to the door. With no food or water, the 3rd date came and went, and then the 4th. I'm calling bullshit. Don't you die after 3 days?
So,
Is he just like secretly really strong?
maybe he was hyperhydrated beforehand.
Maybe he's living off the pee-pee.
Maybe living off the pee-pee.
I mean, maybe he also can't tell what time of day it is, and he's just assuming that many days have passed because the windows are boarded up.
Mm-hmm.
By that point, I was expectantly devoid of any sense of dignity. I sat there, covered in all manner of human filth as my body quickly wasted away. Still, I clung to the vain hope that someone would open that door. It was all I had. Occasionally, I would hear footsteps. Whenever I did, I mustered up what meager strength I had left to bang on the door. Whoever's there, please, open the door. I'm begging you, someone. But my pleas fell on deaf ears. Though they didn't respond to me, I could hear the Abigails muttering to one another in the corridor. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
I wonder what's gotten into Lady Michelle.
They say she was cursed.
Maybe she sold her soul to the devil.
How dreadful.
We should stay away from that door, if we don't want to be cursed too. I am not cursed. I did not sell my soul to the devil. Yeah, I didn't buy his soul. I don't know what happened to it. I'm kind of scared.
I may have to find work somewhere else.
Gotta make sure we stay away from that door. Why do you think I'm cursed? I never did anything wrong. Lady Michelle has lost her mind.
She's deranged.
I'm scared to even think about her. I am not deranged. My mind is perfectly fine. She's right, crazy.
She's right mad.
No, I'm not. I'm perfectly normal. Someone please get me out of here. The 5th and the 6th day passed. And by that point I was hovering on death's brink. I lacked even the willpower to hold myself up against the door. So I simply lay on the cold floor waiting for the end. I felt no sorrow, no anger, no despair. Nothing. I had been sucked completely dry. Completely dry, he says. I couldn't even compose a coherent thought. Which is why, when the door I had so yearned to actually open actually did, when someone stepped inside, standing over me, I was unable to process it.
My God, what a mess. Hey, are you still alive? Well, look at that. I was afraid you'd be dead.
She's coughing on account of all the shit everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was Amy's voice.
I'm sorry, really. I didn't mean you much harm. But after what you said in front of the whole family, I was a little upset.
I couldn't tell what she was saying. All I could hear were garbled sounds. All I could do was moan at her.
The servants are all afraid of you now, after your little episode. So I volunteered to bring your food in their place. Everyone was so grateful. I don't think anyone likes you anymore.
Eventually my muddy mind managed to make sense of the thing she was holding in her hands. A tray of food. I could smell it from here.
At first, I just gave your food to a stray cat. I wish you could have seen it devouring every last bit. What I didn't know, though, was that people can die in just a few days without water. I never intended to kill you. I just didn't know. So I'm really sorry about that.
Water.
But you're alive. For someone so physically weak, you sure are tenacious. Isn't that nice? You have one thing you can be proud of. What was that? Water? You want water? Hold on, I've got some right here.
She picked up a goblet with her delicate fingers. My hand swiped weakly at the air, trying to grab it. A grin spread across her lips, and then she let go.
Go on. Drink. You better hurry or the rug will absorb it all. You wanted water, didn't you? Then drink.
In that moment, I could hear the sound of the last bit of my dignity crumbling away. Driven solely by my survival instinct, I bent down toward the rug, pressing my lips against the spreading puddle.
You really did it. This is too good, Michelle. You look like a cat. No, cats are much more graceful. I can't stop laughing. The daughter of a prestigious family, the Bollingers, sucking water out of a carpet. Oh, I wish I had a painter here to capture this image on canvas. So, I accept that I make a mistake, Michelle. I promise I'll bring you your food from now on. I'll take very good care of you. This is going to be fun.
Listening to her childish yet deeply malicious laughter, I understood. I was her plaything now. My hell was only just beginning. Having gotten food and water, my body recovered somewhat, but I was still hardly in peak condition. That would take some time, given how badly malnourished I'd been. Amy continued to treat me like her pet, constantly stoking the flame of rage within me. But I was too weak to stay on my feet for long, and talking hurt my... I assumed it was a calculated effort on her part to maintain power over me, to keep me as miserable as possible. She had always had a smirk on her face as she gazed down upon me.
Come on, open up. Today I'm going to feed you myself. What's the matter? I can't put anything in with your mouth closed. Or do you want to starve to death?
Amy, why are you doing this?
Why? Because it's fun. Why else?
You married into this family, you sick wretch. What gives you the idea you can treat me?
Are you saying that because I'm married in, I'm of lesser stature than you? That's true. I am. But what's your point? You think you can intimidate me with formalities?
Amy!
Ugh, I would rather you not speak my name if you wouldn't mind.
That doesn't excuse your treatment of me. Someone, Didier or George's, will make you pay for this.
You don't have a single friend here, Michelle. No one to take your side.
That's true, because if Michael did have any friends within his brothers, you'd think they would have visited him once during the 6 months he was locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Or they would have checked on him when they heard the banging, because, the house is big, sure, but you're sure that they would have heard whispers of the banging on the door.
Yeah.
If they actually gave a single flying fuck, they would have checked in on him by now.
Yep. And no one to say a thing about me playing with you. Assuming you were somehow able to tell someone, no one would believe you.
That's a lie.
Do you have any idea what people say about you? They say you've gone mad, that you've sold your soul to the devil. Do you honestly believe anyone would trust you?
I am not mad.
I don't know. You look plenty mad to me.
Fine, then I'll run away. I'll escape from this estate and from you.
You think you could survive out in the world with that body? A stray cat could lift more than you. You'd never find work. I'd give you a week at best.
You can't be sure of that. Maybe I could make it on my own.
Maybe, but either way, there's no way you're getting out. You try to run, someone might just cut off your legs.
How's that at all necessary?
Don't ask me. Maybe because your cross hasn't broken. You're lucky you're even allowed to live. And you should be grateful to me for volunteering to take care of you. Nobody else wanted to have anything to do with it. So if you want to keep living, you have to show me some respect. And you have to do everything I tell you to. Understood?
So this is the real you. You were just pretending to be respectable, when in reality not only are you sleeping with Didier, but you're a downright vile woman. You've been putting on an act ever since you got here.
Oh, you make it sound like I'm somehow worse than anyone else. I'm quite normal, thank you.
How is this normal?
Listen to me, Michelle. The side of me you see right now isn't necessarily the whole thing. The sweet girl I am for the family is also me.
No, this is pretty much you, Amy. Well, say it louder, I didn't hear you.
That too was me. Bitch!
A little bit louder?
Bitch!
Thank you.
I'm not putting on an act.
Liar.
Although, to tell you the truth, I never actually liked you, so that part was a lie, yes. If Mother hadn't asked, I would have never even considered getting friendly with you.
Amy.
Life as a noble woman is so dull. It's so restrictive. No room for love at all. So can you really blame me? There so happened to be the most wonderful night right there for the taking. Why shouldn't I have gone after him? I'm still young. Let me have some fun, you know. Not like women have much else in the way of recreation.
So it wasn't Didier but you who seduced him?
And it all would have worked out beautifully too, if you had only kept your mouth shut. You ruined our family gathering and damaged my reputation. And you called me a whore. That wasn't very nice now, was it? Is it any surprise I'm a little sore? You brought this on yourself, Michelle.
I brought this on myself? Don't you dare! Nothing justifies what you're doing to me. I'm not the disturbed one. You're a crazy whore, and don't you try to pretend otherwise, damn you.
Oh my, such language. You're not being very nice to me, Michelle. Girls aren't supposed to talk like that, you know.
I'm not a girl.
Then what are you?
I'm a man.
A man? With that body?
Amy quietly rose and grabbed me by the hair and shoved me to the floor. Let go of me!
You call yourself a man? You can't even get out of a girl's grip. I'm not all that strong either. In fact, I'd say I'm rather weak. Just a small, powerless girl. If you were a man, you would have no problem breaking free, malnourished or otherwise. But you can't.
She traced the lines of my emaciated ribs with her nails, traveling slowly, down my chest.
But even ignoring that, you're missing the most important part.
Lies! Stop.
Lies.
Get off of me. I tried to shove her aside with all the strength I could squeeze out of my arms. But Amy had said I couldn't even overpower a girl. All I could do was lie there beneath her and beg, "Get off of me," groaning in anger and frustration. Her finger came up to stop just above my navel. She looked up at me with a sweet smile, and then pulled her hand away. And just as a wave of relief spread through me, she shoved me back, jumped up, and slammed her foot between my legs. Ugh! I shuddered as the pain jolted up my spine. Ugh! Amy looked down on me as I screamed. A smirk spread across her face.
Oh my, does that hurt? There's a surprise.
Of course it hurts, Amy. You ever been cunt busted? It fucking hurts.
It hurts.
It fucking hurts.
Even without body parts, it still hurts.
And if anyone here is into that, you know, more power to you, because it fucking hurts. Stop, please. And she didn't stop stepping on me. I'm begging you, stop, please. She dug her toes into my flesh.
What are you exactly, Michelle? From the feel of it, you don't quite have proper girl parts either.
Amy, please. On top of the physical pain, unbearable humiliation, shame corroded away at my spirit. Spirit, you were corroded away upon.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I've just come back.
You've just come back.
What a strange creature you are.
Stop. If I could have died right then and there, honestly, that would have been preferable to the emotional hell she was putting me through.
You should take a look at yourself in a mirror, Michelle. You're crying, sobbing like a sad little girl. Not much of a boy, are you? And you lusted after me with this body? Seriously, you're disgusting. I can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me.
This is where we're stopping. This is the end of today. I hope everyone had fun.
Demon child.
What? Oh, I see it, Demon Child.
Demon child.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you going on about? What the
Demon
fuck?
child.
Demon Child, it's me! But yeah, everybody having fun? Everybody enjoying this?
Son is devastated.
He's having the worst day of his life. Well, second worst day of his life. I guess his worst day of his life is probably when you break I fixed it. They couldn't fix his computer. No. Well,
We still have 2 more parts to this chapter, so I hope you're enjoying it, because guess what? Guess what?
What?
Take a guess.
I guess what?
It gets worse. Yay!
Yay!
He's like, no.
No!
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 Weep
Ah.
and struggle
But yes,
and
that
suffer
is the
and
first part of Door 7.
die.
Door 7 has a lot going on. Very many things.
Many things.
Many things. Well, tomorrow is Friday, supposedly. I don't think so, but apparently it is. Supposedly.
Which means it's part 1 of chapter 4 of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc.
Chapter 4.
Chapter 3.
I was about to say, did I miss
I
did I miss an entire month?
No,
I'm like, I know I've been off on what day it is, but I didn't think I was that far
No,
off.
Chapter 3, sorry. Sorry.
Sorry. Chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3, which has something a little bit different than the other chapters.
Oh,
A little different. I wonder what it could be.
I wonder.
Don't you wonder, you fucking know. You fucking know.
V is fine with us skipping chapter 3.
Why? I want to see chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
God. Anyway, this has been fun.
Yes.
We've got chapter 3 of Danganronpa tomorrow. Saturday is Social Saturday?
Social Saturday.
Social Saturday. Social Saturday.
Social Saturday.
So we'll be playing social games. Fuck knows what kind. Maybe Jackbox, maybe other stuff. Who knows?
Who knows?
Though if we play any more drawing games, I'm stealing Spirit's phone because drawing on my phone is really difficult. Downside of having a flip phone. Like, playing the rest of the Jackbox games, no problem. Trying to draw, disaster.
Disaster.
Disaster. My phone just wants to scroll. It doesn't want to let me draw. Anyway, we'll probably put a poll up and see who's going to be available, see if people want to do Jackbox. If we get enough people, that's great. Otherwise, there'll be something else.
Yes.
Because we got lots of games. So some of the games you have to have the games, and other games like Jackbox and Clue, you don't. So we will have poll in server, as always.
Uh-huh.
We will put it up eventually. Probably, tomorrow night?
Probably.
Probably tomorrow night. And it will be like, what game you want for Saturday?
What do you want?
I still think I'm being fucking gaslit here. I still think tomorrow is Saturday.
No.
I've been a day off all week, and it's terrible.
Terrible.
Like, I could have swore today was Friday. I could have swore. I'm so certain.
You were just being hopeful.
No, I'm just so certain it feels like a Friday, and yesterday felt like Thursday, and the day before felt like a Wednesday, and the day before that felt like Tuesday, and the day before that felt like a Monday. It's
Playing
just...
Fata Morgana is not helping me in my inability to tell what day it is.
It really isn't. It's fine. Anyway, we're gonna see who we got to raid. It looks like we've got Rev Ben, so
Let's go.
Resident Evil Village.
Let's go.
Village. So, as you guys know, I jump on the raid with you. I stay for a couple minutes and say hi, but then I dip out because I don't want spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, you don't have to stay. But if you want to see Rev Ben and his amazing content, you should totally go over there. Anyway, keep it creepy.
Keep it weird.
And most importantly,
Stay
queer.
queer.
And Amy's a bitch. Bye.
Bye.